Welcome to Daily Steps from One Extraordinary Marriage, where we outline simple steps that you can take to have the ultimate marriage adventure. I'm Tony DeLorenzo, your co-host, along with my beautiful wife, Elisa. In this show, we answer the question, is it an affair if we are only chatting online?
Here's the thing. Whether we're talking Facebook, Snapchat, text messages, whatever you're doing with someone else, a member of the opposite sex, it's taking you away from the time and energy that you give your spouse.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Truly.
We talk about the grass being greener. You're watering the grass in someone else's yard. Let me just give you that perspective.
And then you're looking back on your own yard and wondering why the grass isn't green and why it's not healthy there.
Right. Because when you start to confide emotionally, when you start keeping secrets from your spouse, when you get that emotional rush in anticipation of hearing from this other person, now you may just call them a friend, but when you're like, oh, I need to check my phone, or, oh, I better, do I have any snaps from them? Or did I get a text message? That emotional rush is an indicator that you're crossing the line.
So if that's happening, and you know it, like right now, you're listening to this, you've crossed the line.
Absolutely.
There's no if and buts about it, period.
And the converse is true as well. If you get an emotional disappointment, like if you're like, oh, he or she didn't send me a message, or, oh, I haven't heard from them in a few days, that's the same thing.
That's a good one, because that's not talked about at all, the emotional disappointment.
Right. Because all of these things, folks, when you're confiding in someone else, that's called an affair. It's an emotional affair, right? You might not think that there's any physical going on, but you are giving your mind, you're giving your emotions to another human being. And I'll tell you, from having coached folks for, well over 5 years now, probably 7-ish, that when people talk about the emotional affairs, it actually on some level is more painful than the physical affair. Because often they can understand the physical, but your spouse desires to have that emotional connection with you. And when you choose, and it is a choice, when you choose to give it to someone else, there's a violation of trust. And let me be real clear here. Secrets always come out.
We've been down this path before, both of us.
You can't be engaged in something undercover, and maybe you're getting away with it for a little while. Maybe your spouse doesn't know, but something will trip. They will find out. And so what do? Right? You have to break all ties. Not just a few of them, not just be like, well, I'm just not going to, I'm just not going to talk to them on Facebook, but maybe we'll still do text messages. No, break all ties. And let me tell you, it's going to feel like withdrawal. And
here's the thing though, folks, you have to protect your house. You need to put up guardrails around you, your spouse, and your marriage. And to do that, you got to cut the tie. And what we hear a lot of folks say, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. If you're there, let me tell you, you've already crossed the line, because you have now given them more power than your spouse has. And so you not wanting to hurt their feelings when they're possibly coming in and breaking you up from your spouse, you need to think twice, because honestly, having gone down this road before, I had to make a 180 and I didn't care. You know what I mean? I had to just go, I've done wrong here. And yet I have to make the decision. I need to cut the tie now and move on. You got to be able to do that. You
also have to make the decision that you're going to start participating in your marriage, right? Yes. Like we opened the show talking about where you're watering your grass. Well, you need to get back involved in the grass, in the marriage that you already said I do to. You need to start giving the reason the grass looks greener anywhere is because it's receiving intention and attention. You want your marriage to be the place, start giving it attention and being intentional about it, because the emotional affair is only going to cause destruction. When you give yourself to somebody else, there is no win in that. It's what you can do to sever those ties and start feeding the relationship that you have currently, looking at your marriage and saying, how do I grow this place?
For more information on this topic, check out oneextraordinarymarriage.com/emotional affair.